PDE.
You got your guys here with your Mr. Swag and Waggy.
And I'm just Dan.
And we are back for the reaction video.
Another week of Death Battle. We got Magneto versus Tetsuo. Marvel versus Akira.
Yes.
If you say Akira, that's to you. It's Akira.
That's Akira. Yes, this is going to hold a special place for me because you have one of my favorite villains in Marvel and one of my favorite animes. Actually, one of the first animes I ever saw.
And the first for a lot of people in America.
Right, and like just getting a quick backstory is I was just doing some research, and actually this was for production wise, this is the most expensive anime made back at that time.
I believe it.
6 studios had to do this.
God.
And you could tell, like, they was kind of comparing it to other. You could tell, like, it was ahead of its time.
We'll see. We'll see who pulls out the dub. Can Magneto do it, or will Tetsuo pull out a wooden gun?
A wooden gun.
Anime doesn't do that good, but I'll lead the predictions.
Before we get to it, though, make sure you guys like, comment, subscribe, do all the things every other YouTube does. When YouTuber does what they ask you, y'all know the deal, y'all know the spiel. Just do it, help your boys out.
So without further ado, let's get it.
Magneto, Marvel's mutant master of magnetism.
Tetsuo Shima, Akira's telekinetic terror.
Did you ever know people that called him Magneto?
These two maestros of
Somebody, I remember somebody call him that. I just don't know who.
also the very mediums they exist within.
He's Wiz and I'm Boomstick.
And it's our job to analyze their weapons, armor, and skills to find out who would win a death battle.
Yeah.
In the short duration of modern civilization, likely no conflict tested humanity more than the Second World War.
I can't imagine,
In the primary
man.
Marvel
War.
616 universe,
War.
this fact is no
Yeah.
different, especially to the Eisenhart family and their only son.
You may know him as Magnus, Eric, or Max, but if you ask him, he'd say his true name is Magneto.
As a Jewish child in Nazi Germany, Magneto's early life was, well, extremely traumatic.
Even after eventually escaping certain death with
There's their wooden gun.
Wooden guns.
wherever he went.
A wooden gun.
Thanks to his unexpected mutation called the X gene.
I'm not
the
putting a
mark
clip in this
of a
video.
superhero.
I do it every time we
After
mention
settling
Magneto.
down in
Yeah.
Russia with his
Yeah, okay.
family,
Y'all don't know what it is, look it up
really
yourself.
found out about this quirk, so they burned his house down
Oh,
with
Lord.
his only
Papa.
daughter inside.
Jesus.
Naturally, he snapped and killed them all. I don't blame him. I'd do that too. Too bad his wife didn't get it and ditched him though. But that's when Magneto made a choice. Since humans hurt him his entire life, he'd do the same to them in the name of mutants everywhere.
At
Yeah.
first, Magneto turned to the telepathic powerhouse Charles Xavier and his fledgling team of heroes. But his new friend
Charles
wasn't
looked extra
thrilled with the
creepy in it.
idea of,
He did. Oh my
subjugating the
gosh.
human race. So, Magneto formed his own team of mutants, the Brotherhood.
Magneto can telekinetically move, bend, and reshape.
I hate they call
any
it the
metal
Brotherhood
he's
is
aware of.
evil.
Bullets,
Mutants.
vehicles,
Call it the
buildings,
Brotherhood.
you name it. Even
You know what?
himself when he
With no
manipulates his
brothers.
personal magnetic field for flight.
I was gonna say, speaking of that, I love how certain lores will put like Professor Xavier and Magneto as Martin Luther King and
Hey,
Malcolm X.
yeah.
Like, if you really think about it, that's like the best way to understand it for us and everything.
Right.
Like with Magneto I do this for my people. No matter how tough y'all say it is.
Yeah.
No.
By any means
By any
necessary.
means,
There
yeah,
you
by
go.
any means. And Xavier, wants to bring everybody together.
Non-violent.
But you know what? Maybe that's why Magneto's my guy, man.
Yeah.
Let me stop. But yeah, man. But you gotta respect it. Like, I don't never really looked at him as a evil character.
No.
You know, he just wanted more for his people. They got certain storylines that makes him evil, but that's something else.
Yeah. But I think they always leads into that because of how X-Men be coming at him. Like, leave me
Listen.
alone. Let me do my thing over here. I'm trying to help you. Let me help you. Help me help you.
Help me help you. Or welcome to die.
Exactly.
X-Men, welcome to die!
Energy barriers.
Magnetic kinesis is far more versatile than it would appear at first glance. The blood in your body has iron in it. The air has traces of lead and mercury. Whole mountains are lined with metallic ore. The Earth itself is surrounded by a literal magnetic field.
So many toys for Maggie to play with. He can detect magnetic fields at such a huge range, he can even pinpoint Earth's magnetic rays while stranded on a planet in another galaxy. And guess what? He was able to use those rays to pull himself back to Earth.
That comic
in a
book shit,
single
man.
day.
Yep.
His range
So hard
is
to-
even more
Nothing's
remarkable
too
than that.
ridiculous.
Did you know that in 1820, physicist Hans Christian Ørsted discovered that
Hans.
electric currents, like those of electrons and protons and atoms, produce their
I got
own
the Hans
magnetic
in the
fields.
building.
Magneto can fine-tune his control to affect these very subatomic particles. Dummy here will illustrate such a particle, with positively charged protons and negative electrons.
My life is as meaningless as an atom is small.
So what you're saying is Magneto could, like, yank one of those out.
Correct, potentially changing an atom's entire chemical makeup. However,
Damn.
neutrons do not have a charge, and without the ability to adjust those to accommodate the change in atomic mass, the atom would become unstable and
Finally!
Okay, so this a hint?
do that. Magneto's violent protest against humankind clashed with Xavier's peaceful reconciliation, not unlike the ideologies taught by Malcolm X and Dr. King, by whom Stan Lee and Jack Kirby were inspired.
Thank you. Okay, so it is true.
Pushing Xavier away to prove his philosophies superior, which meant doing battle with Xavier's school of thought, quite literally.
And Baldy's mind powers are no joke, but thanks to Magneto's psionic repelling helmet, Professor X couldn't touch him. Magneto survived Cyclops' earth-splitting lasers, absorbed the power of the sun to battle Iron Man, ripped the
shit.
adamantium skeleton out of Wolverine's body, and even taken on Hercules himself. You know, the Greek legend, Zero to Hero, the guy who held up the skies of Olympus for Atlas? That
Oh
Hercules.
shit.
Seems sensible, Magneto once used the Earth's magnetic field to overwhelm the Phoenix Force, which can effortlessly destroy planets, let alone far more.
Hell, if he really wanted to, Magneto could totally just fling the Earth off its axis.
It's entirely possible he may have eventually resorted to just that. Over time, it became clear Magneto's war was doing far more harm than good for his fellow mutants, however well-intentioned he may have been at first.
Luckily, he later realized he was going a bit overboard and began reevaluating his perspective. Good for you, Mags. It's really tough
All
to
right.
recognize when you're the baddie.
It took time and patience not just from Magneto, but also from his peers. Yet eventually, his path was completely changed. He even became a leader for
Great show,
Xavier's
man.
X-Men.
But don't let his new goody two-shoes ways fool you.
Evolution.
Whenever there's a
Yeah.
threat to mutants, you can bet Magneto will be there to annihilate it. Forever. By any means necessary.
Come on, man.
Over 30 years ago, a new type of bomb was set off over Tokyo, and 9 hours later, began the Third World War.
Welcome to 2030, or 2019 if you're watching the anime. The
Woohoo.
buildings are taller, the motorcycles are cooler, and the future is
I
brighter.
wish.
Oh, wait, not really. If you find yourself in the Capsule Gang, you'll meet Shotaro Kaneda, who's like your textbook anime Chad. Gets the ladies, beats the baddies, and cops the sweetest rigs. Man, I need to get me one of those.
And then there's the little brother of the group, Kaneda's best friend, Tetsuo Shima.
Yeah.
He's, well,
The exact opposite. A total wimp. As a kid, Tetsuo in his college thesis forehead got bullied for being the new kid at the orphanage.
Told you, right? That big ass forehead.
Bro
Yeah.
Kaneda came to the rescue.
eventually the two went to vocational school together and formed the Capsules. But Tetsuo
I didn't see how
was
old
never
they said Magneto
satisfied with
was.
Kaneda being the leader of the
He old
pack.
as shit.
Tetsuo desired
Fighting a
more than
19-year-old.
anything to be top dog.
Oh, I can just see that monkey's paw curling in my mind. Or that kid walking down the street. Shit, Tetsuo, watch out, you're gonna...
That ain't no kid, motherfucker.
Definitely should have killed him. But since it didn't, Tetsuo earned himself a ticket to military confinement. Turns out they had an under-the-table program for developing child superweapons.
In the same program that backfired and jump-started the war, Tetsuo became Japan's Esper number 41.
He may not have been a natural with bikes, baddies, or babes, but this telekinesis stuff hit different. He walked out of that hospital ward effortlessly flying, reading minds, and blending people into strawberry jelly. Tetsuo got what he wanted. Power, along with the hunger for more of it.
A hunger that used to only be satiated with drugs. And not just any gateway drug, pills so potent that a single gram of the stuff could kill you.
So,
Fentanyl.
pretty bad. Kinda reminds me of college days, huh? Snow wizard.
Tetsuo's main
I always like to
ability
see
is his
anime when they
constantly
take
increasing psionic energy,
inspiration
growing
from
more and
comic
more
books.
powerful over
Even as
time.
old as this
This
is,
due to Tetsuo's
the
like
whole
to,
government
quote,
experimenting on
"the
people.
memories of
Comics
the
been doing that for
universe," end
decades.
quote.
Yeah.
It's weird.
Either way, Tetsuo
Well,
leveled up from lame gangbuster to certified badass. This guy is a walking natural disaster. His telekinesis can shake the planet, easily cause earthquakes over a dozen miles below the surface. He can summon psychic barriers for defense and crush foes with friggin' gravity wells. He can dart around as a literal bolt of lightning or even teleport in an instant.
Tetsuo's telekinesis can be so precise he can target and obliterate specific parts of the body. He can heal severe wounds quickly, but even after losing a whole limb, he can craft a new one using whatever nearby materials he wants.
With these powers, Top Dog Kaneda didn't matter anymore. Who needed his approval? Tetsuo tasted that good shit and he was hooked. And when he found out another Esper named Akira could deal him even more power, he rampaged through Tokyo to find him.
And this is where versions of the story differ.
Okay.
Oh boy, sounds
You may be
like
familiar
bullshit
with the
setting in.
1988 animation,
Let's go.
where Akira
I need to see
had
some
dissected
numbers.
Research. However, in the original manga, Akira is not only alive, but even more powerful.
Once that little runt nuked Tokyo, Tetsuo would erect the Great Tokyo Empire with Akira and himself as its leaders. But he ended up just abusing the position for endless sex and inflating his ego.
With Kaneda's rebellion at his front door, Tetsuo took a turn for the worse. He had to fight.
Tetsuo's defeated other powerful espers, dodged light-speed lasers, and jumped to the moon faster than anyone could blink, and then punched a big old hole in it. And if you ask, Boomerstick, wouldn't that mess up gravity on Earth? You would be right, because it totally did. Screwed the planet, I guess.
But could Magneto fix that gravity?
Which brings us to
Ah,
Tetsuo's falling.
maybe.
His abuse of his powers spiraled until he lost control. Unfortunately for Kaneda's rebellion, this did not make Tetsuo an easier enemy to confront. Exactly opposite, in fact, as Tetsuo painfully mutated into an unstoppable behemoth.
Yep, that's not totally disturbing at all.
It
I'm
was.
happy to say
This definitely
the
disturbed
mango's
me,
version is even
but I was still
more
into it.
disturbing.
I mean, I know babies can be monsters, but that's a whole nother level.
It is pain incarnate. I can relate. Another Esper described Tetsuo's struggle as ego death, which has multiple definitions, but in this case is likely symbolic of the version attributed to drug use.
Yeah, it's described
Okay.
as a shedding of one's own identity, like how LSD can emulate a wild out-of-body experience,
Yep.
and you come back with a new perspective. Though this is maybe a little more extreme. In fact, you could say Tetsuo was shedding his human body to play with the powers of a god.
I wish I could shed out of my body. But in this case, Tetsuo going full out of body meant becoming a mound of raw, ever-expanding energy.
Which almost nuked Tokyo all over again. And those explosions are not normal. I would know.
Top scientists in both the manga and animated versions describe these explosions as births of a new universe.
Given its properties of nuclear fusion and proton collapse, Tetsuo's mutated form was likely creating a Big Bang.
You know, the thing that started
Okay.
our whole universe?
Right. In the
Gotta
manga,
add some
it
bullshit for him
said
since
any
Magneto got
Espers
bullshit.
use their abilities once and for all. A testament that humankind is unsuited to wield the powers of the divine.
Though the anime's even more trippy. Thanks to Akira and his buddies, Tetsuo got so high on ego death, he ascended time-space to become god of a new universe. Kinda worth
Damn.
it, right?
And yet, Kaneda kept his empire up in his honor. Now as the great
Why
Akira
do they put it up there?
Empire.
So that's not canon.
Ironically, in death, Tetsuo finally received the
man.
attention. he
Oh, is
so
that not gonna come into
desperately
play?
I hope so.
craved. All right, the
Not all right.
Predictions.
I'm still going Marvel. I'm still going Magneto. Cause they, it is weird, man. They said a lot about Tetsuo, but then they didn't say nothing at all. It seemed like
Come on, man. Why you doing this,
it was
man? I know,
weirdly.
I know.
It was just weirdly worded how they
Yeah.
was saying. Like I don't know. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
No,
but
I'm not gonna lie. You're not wrong. It definitely felt like a reach, but you know what? I'm going for that reach, man. Anime. I'm going anime today. I'm going with Tetsuo.
but we gonna see. Let's get into a death battle.
combatants are set. We've run the data through all possibilities.
It's time for a death battle!
He seemed like a trouble. Tetsuo seemed like a troubled mutant.
Yeah.
Magneto's gonna try to help him. That's his thing.
Japan
Okay.
failed to
Guessing.
recognize our superiority.
Hey, you might be right. I just hope for a good foot.
Grandpa. You're an Akira turf now.
Who knows what experience come into play?
It might. Come on,
I don't know. It can.
The eagle death was got me. That's what I'm scared of. That whole eagle death.
Impudent child!
The hell are you calling child? I make the rules around here.
It's angry teenager shit.
No telepathy ain't gonna work against.
You're wasting my time. Parlor tricks for the master of magnetism.
Okay. A lot of buildings.
I'll kill you.
Oh, said he can target parts of the body.
Your history, scumbag.
Look, you. Oh man.
He might have Magneto in the hand-to-hand.
Nah, but you said that experience, man. They gonna. And they causing Big Bang Theories. Oh shit.
Oh, he took his helmet off.
Oh shit. Oh no!
I believe I've had enough tantrums to last a lifetime.
Uh-oh.
Big bubblegum monster.
Bubblegum in the dish. How many magnets can stand this?
Listen, welcome. I'll handle this on my own.
My mind.
Hurts. Help me.
Don't tell me you caught this shit, bro.
That's what they said. They said it seemed like he was troubled. Like he don't really have, not real control over that shit, but. Ooh. Oh, he did the Big Bang attack, whatever they called it.
Yeah, he did. New universe? Are they both gonna be in the same universe together?
Poor child.
All right, what just happened?
Woo! Aim for the head. When you see him, go get him. You gonna grab him out the air?
Yeah, thank you.
You are welcome.
Good battle, man. God damn, you
Can't have
comics.
Malcolm X lose when Juneteenth is coming up.
You right.
Tetsuo's esoteric telekinesis and other
All right, so what they
bizarre
got?
abilities certainly gave Magneto pause, but the master of magnetism had greater control over his foe.
Over
The
exertion,
numbers don't
far less
lie.
combat and
Tetsuo
tactical
cratering
experience.
The moon was insane, but Magneto
Yeah,
punched
definitely
Iron Man
did.
with the force of the sun. And while Tetsuo jumped all the way to the moon, Magneto could move across galaxies.
Against Tetsuo in his human form,
Come on, man. Fucking hate comics, man.
speed.
But stats
Like,
are
come
false.
on.
Bro, comics always had a counter to whatever's going on.
Target Magneto's
Bro,
organs.
I thought it was over right there.
Yes, but Magneto had similar skills. There are very few substances on Earth that lack any metallic or magnetic component, and Magneto is very creative with his powers.
Which he could use to predict Tetsuo's teleportation and even shut down.
You can't handle
his
iron in your
telekinesis.
blood, so you gotta go on like a strict diet before you fight Magneto.
Fuck. His head. The biggest challenge for Magneto was when Tetsuo's gross mutated power came into play.
Especially given how the detonations from this form were compared to that of a Big Bang. Although the authenticity of that observation is questionable. In truth, the Big Bang was a sudden expansion of matter on a universal scale, whereas Tetsuo's explosions are more akin to nuclear blasts, clearly intentional given the post-war symbolism of the Akira story.
The whole creating an alternate universe bit wasn't even part of the original material, so we can't.
I said that shit because it said it wasn't canon.
Yep.
After that, I said it was gonna come into play. Watch.
It definitely did, man. You caught it.
Capable of creating or destroying
Damn, man.
There's like certain points you can pick out. When they linger on something for too long, it's like, okay, why did they put that in there?
And I knew they was reaching, man. I just knew Death Battle's like, Death Battle not gonna let anime lose twice in a row to Marvel.
This doesn't necessarily mean
I don't
Magneto
know.
can easily destroy a universe with a snap of his fingers, but it does prove he can match a similar level of power. And context is everything. Tetsuo's Big Bang eruption specifically exhibited proton collapse, meaning its atomic structure was primarily an unstable mess of neutrons and electrons. And Magneto has detected and commanded unstable electrons before. This means Magneto had every means available to take control.
That's how I was
over
wondering
this
how he
Big
stopped
Bang.
that right there. So they
Damn,
explained
I
it.
thought
Thank
he
you.
could just move some metal around. It's like the question posed by some of the greatest prophets of our time.
Bro, this is
Fucking magnets. How do they even work?
oh,
Magneto's astonishing power and intelligent control over all things magnetism triumphed in the end.
it just shows you how powerful Marvel really is.
Have
Though.
the metal to
It just
pull
shows you
out
the
win.
decades and decades of stories you can pull from in comics. Like
Yeah.
that's why I don't go against when it's anime against comics. I always go for comics. It's so much you can pull from, man.
Click that join button and consider becoming a member.
I'm hurt, but I get it.
Hope you
Yeah.
like the next one.
Okay, what we got? Hercules? Hercules versus Son Goku? Son Wukong?
Wow. Okay.
Whoa. Very
Different. Two legends.
Very different, man. Say Greek mythology. Well, what do you put Hercules? Greek or
I think Hercules is Greek. He's not Norse.
yeah, Greek mythology?
He might be in
versus,
Norse too. I don't know.
No, Asian mythology.
Death
Okay.
Battle basically said we're not gonna piss off comic book fans. We're not gonna piss off anime fans.
Bro, but it's like going back to the Magneto Tetsuo. It's like you knew once they started explaining it, it just showed you. Actually, let me give comics this just due. Because yeah, you can say a lot of bullshit, but you can tell they definitely do research. These are people that are actually putting in thought to Marvel Comics, and it just lets you know, like from Marvel and DC, they put thought in what they do.
That's
all
what I'm
these
saying.
years.
Like the shit you gotta pull from the knowledge and stuff Death Battle had to go through to find this shit. You gotta read through decades and decades of lore, opposed to Akira, which was a manga, anime, and a movie.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
you can see it. You can see it in the research, right?
Right, man. So, like I said again, anime falls to Marvel, man. But that's what happens when you're dealing with.
We love both of them. It's just sad to
It's
see.
sad.
It's sad to see either one
No,
lose,
yeah,
man.
it would have been. It would have
Yeah.
been everything. Like I knew Tetsuo was coming in as an underdog, and it just proved to you.
Yeah.
But Toon Force.
It wasn't a stomp like Omni-Man and Homelander.
Oh no,
But,
it wasn't. No, that
yeah.
was a complete stomp.
It's a good fight. Good fight.
What do you guys think, man? Give us all the knowledge that you have.
What version of Magneto would have stomped him out? Because you know it's always that super overpowered version of a character that just snap him out of existence.
But for all that, man, we about to get up out of here.
Follow everything in the description. Follow your boys on everything we do. That original video will be down there. Follow us on Twitch for dope streams all throughout the week. We really having fun. We're trying to build things over there. We need y'all. Join the community as well as the Discord community. Come in, talk with your boys, fun stuff, funny jokes. Just do it.
Everything. Yes, man. But you already know the motto, man. Make memories, stay humble, live life. Swagging, waggy.
Where was the wooden gun?
A wooden gun.
I know.
Just there.
And we out of here.